Welcome to a side of America you were never meant to see. A hidden underbelly, a reality carefully concealed beneath layers of propaganda and manufactured consent. We're about to pull back the curtain and expose the uncomfortable truths that powerful forces would prefer you remain ignorant of. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged, your assumptions questioned, and your understanding of this nation irrevocably altered. This is not the America of glossy brochures and patriotic anthems. This is the America that exists for millions, the one they experience every single day. Behind the skyscrapers and freedom slogans lies a darker truth. A truth woven into the very fabric of our society, a truth that festers in the shadows of unchecked power and relentless greed. The shining facade of American exceptionalism crumbles upon closer inspection, revealing a landscape scarred by inequality, injustice, and systemic oppression. We've been told a story of opportunity and prosperity for all, but the reality on the ground paints a vastly different picture. The American dream, once a beacon of hope, has become a cruel illusion for far too many. In the richest country in the world, over 500,000 people sleep on the streets, a staggering indictment of our priorities, a shameful stain on our national conscience. These are not just statistics, they are human beings. Mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, struggling to survive in a system that has abandoned them. They are the forgotten casualties of a relentless pursuit of profit, the victims of policies that prioritize the wealthy and powerful over the basic needs of the vulnerable. How can we claim to be a land of opportunity when so many are denied even the most basic necessities of life? Tech billionaires live blocks away from sidewalk tents, a grotesque display of inequality, a stark reminder of the moral bankruptcy of our economic system. While the ultra-rich accumulate unimaginable wealth, millions struggle to afford basic necessities like food, housing, and healthcare. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few has created a society where the gap between the rich and the poor is wider than ever before. This is not a sustainable model. It is a recipe for social unrest and ultimately societal collapse. Imagine breaking a bone, then going bankrupt. A terrifying reality for millions of Americans, a consequence of a healthcare system that prioritizes profit over people. A single illness or injury can wipe out a lifetime of savings, leaving families burdened with crippling debt. The fear of financial ruin hangs over every medical decision, forcing people to delay or forego necessary care. This is not healthcare, it is a predatory system that preys on the vulnerable. Over 60% of personal bankruptcies are caused by medical debt. A shocking statistic that exposes the deep flaws in our healthcare system. People are forced to choose between their health and their financial well-being, a choice that no one should ever have to make. This is a moral crisis, a failure of our society to provide basic healthcare to all its citizens. The human cost of this system is immeasurable, leaving countless families struggling to recover from the devastating consequences of medical debt. Even with insurance, families are drowning in bills. The illusion of protection, shattered by high deductibles, co-pays, and uncovered expenses. Insurance companies prioritize their profits over the needs of their customers, leaving families vulnerable to financial ruin even when they have coverage. The system is rigged against ordinary people, designed to extract maximum profit at their expense. The promise of affordable healthcare remains a distant dream for millions of Americans. This isn't freedom, it's fear. The fear of losing your job, the fear of getting sick, the fear of being unable to provide for your family. This is the reality for millions of Americans, a constant state of anxiety and insecurity. The promise of the American dream has been replaced by a pervasive sense of dread, a feeling that the system is rigged against them. We must confront these uncomfortable truths and demand a better future, a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, not just survive, a future free from fear. The United States holds a somber distinction on the global stage. It has the highest prison population on Earth, a stark reality that demands a closer examination of the systems and structures that have led to this point. We must ask ourselves, how did we get here? What are the underlying factors contributing to this mass incarceration? The sheer scale of imprisonment raises profound questions about justice, equality, and the very fabric of our society. It's a complex issue with deep roots, requiring us to confront uncomfortable truths about our past and present. The landscape of incarceration is further complicated by the presence of private prisons. These institutions operate on a for-profit basis, creating a perverse incentive where more inmates directly translate to increased revenue. This raises serious ethical concerns about the potential for prioritizing profit over rehabilitation and justice. The drive to fill beds can lead to lobbying for stricter sentencing laws and policies that disproportionately impact marginalized communities. The question becomes, are we truly serving justice, or are we perpetuating a cycle of incarceration for financial gain? The demographics of the incarcerated population reveal a disturbing pattern. Disproportionately, these cells are filled with individuals from minority communities, particularly Black and Latino men. This disparity is not a coincidence. It is a reflection of systemic biases and inequalities that permeate our criminal justice system. From biased policing practices to discriminatory sentencing guidelines, the scales of justice are often tipped against these communities. We must acknowledge the role that race and ethnicity play in shaping the experience of incarceration in America. What we see is a system built on inequality, a reality often discussed only in whispers, hidden beneath layers of policy and procedure. It's a system that perpetuates cycles of poverty and marginalization, trapping individuals and communities in a web of disadvantage. To truly address the issue of mass incarceration, we must bring these uncomfortable conversations into the light, challenge the status quo, and work towards a more just and equitable system for all. The time for whispers is over. It's time for action. 6 corporations control 90% of American media. Your news, entertainment, even opinions are filtered. Is it free speech or controlled speech disguised as choice? Independent voices are silenced, leaving polished propaganda. We often see the idealized version of America, the one presented in history books and political speeches, but there's a deeper, more complex reality that often goes unacknowledged. This isn't about hating America, it's about seeing the full picture, the shadows alongside the light. It's about acknowledging the struggles, the inequalities, and the uncomfortable truths that are often glossed over in favor of a more palatable narrative. We need to move beyond blind patriotism and engage with a more nuanced understanding of our nation's story. Because loving a country means holding it accountable. It means demanding better, striving for justice, and working to create a more equitable society for all. True patriotism isn't about blindly accepting the status quo. It's about actively participating in the ongoing project of building a better nation. It requires critical thinking, open dialogue, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. It means amplifying the voices of the marginalized, challenging systems of oppression, and advocating for policies that promote the common good. Now that you've seen the truth, the unvarnished reality that exists beneath the surface, what do you believe? Do you choose to remain complacent, clinging to a romanticized version of the past? Or will you embrace the challenge of building a more just and equitable future? The choice is yours. The future of this nation depends on our collective willingness to confront the truth, to learn from our mistakes, and to work together to create a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. What's not shown often says more than what is. The stories that are silenced, the perspectives that are ignored, the realities that are hidden from view, these are often the most important things to understand. Seek out those untold stories, listen to the voices that are rarely heard, question the narratives that are presented to you, and remember, the truth is often